Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we're returning to a Let's Play of Command Modern Operations, one of the most impressive simulation games in Modern Warfare, I would say. So, last time we did play a game in the Persian Gulf. We did select the Steam Workshop scenario here. I think, what was it called? Black Tiger 1. And that did put us in the shoes of the US in a war against Iran. And I thought it was very interesting, but there's one issue with this. It had only had a duration of 1 hour. In simulated game time, so I thought it just didn't feel right to me. It just felt like our decisions were maybe not quite as important. This is of course part of a scenario, of a number of scenarios, and these are escalating to some degree, so we could play the next scenario here with 1 more hour and so on and so forth, but it just feels like, you know, at the end of the first game we did do a massive strike against Iranian ground installations, and I just loaded up Black Tiger here. And they are all there, of course, because this is counted as a separate scenario. So, you know what? That feels a little bit unsatisfying. So I had a look around, and I found another very, very interesting scenario here that plays out in the same sort of vicinity. This is in the US against Iran simulated battle, and it's called Tanker Wars, of course under TA. Tanker Wars. And this is a little bit of a replay from Operation Praying Mantis that was happening in the first sort of Gulf War, where the US basically sailed through the Persian Gulf with the task force to make sure that, you know, to send a sign really to Iran that diplomatic tensions should go down, and that basically they will enforce the freedom of movement there. And it was a little bit of a kerfuffle. Of course, there were some very heavy hitters, and this is a modern day replay of that, and I find it very, very interesting because if we do load this up, we will see. You can read all of the text here, I'm not going to read through it. Basically, what we are going up against is Iran, slightly supported by Chinese equipment, so that should be fine. But what I do find very interesting is the literal action group over here. So we only have 4 things under our command, 4 ships, and these are these literal combat ships with different modules: anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface warfare, and something else. Rules of engagement are here. We are not supposed to hide in the merchant traffic, but we do need to sail through the entire thing. And the reason why I find it very interesting to have these combat ships over here, let's switch to unit view for a second here. So these are our 4 ships, and as the time is loading up here, you can see them over here. And what I do find interesting about them is there was a simulation in this very game, or in its predecessor, Command Modern Air Naval Operations, Air Naval Operations, which was done by a journalist, and he pitted the literal combat ship against some Chinese vessels, and there were quite some interesting conclusions found out about that. I'm going to probably link towards the article if I do find it down in the description. Because I thought that was a very important consideration of what exactly this simulator here can do. And the reason why it's such a strong simulator, of course, if you do not know Command, is because of all of the database entries that go into that. Not so much the general description here, which is all that you can read about this ship probably, but because of all this data down here. All of the meticulous detail by which every single sensor on this thing has been simulated, down to TV cameras, down to the Mark 1 eyeball, so just your general human looking out for things, but also different radar bands, different everything really, and all of the weapons, and every single ship and aircraft basically since the 1960s, it feels like, is included in the game, which does of course run on a very global scale, as you can see. Our mission today is only limited to this vicinity, of course, to the Persian Gulf, which runs basically between Saudi Arabia and Iran, this little waterway here close to Dubai, and we are supposed to sail through here and just make sure that US interests are covered. And these things here that we have at our disposal, they are flimsy. These are not big ships. They are supposed to be ships that are only operating in coastal waters, and they are not very well armed. They only have a complement of what, like 75 men? This is a small ship. This is not at all a very threatening thing. And you can see that we have, I think, 4 ships here, some of which are armed with different things over here. I think most importantly we've got the rim weapons. These are anti air weapons, so these are mostly used against, I would say, aircraft or even missiles. So you can see all of the things that can be targeted here, and these will probably be our main defensive elements. We also have a very small gun, only the 57mm gun up there in the front, and a 30mm Bushmaster close-in defense weapon, and a couple of other things here. Nulka, I don't know, I'm guessing this is a decoy. Yeah, it is. So sort of semi-passive defenses. We got a couple of Hellfires, which is nice to see certainly, but they have a very limited range here. So these things would be able to target surface ships with this, and that's all very interesting. Nothing much else over here. A couple of more rims actually, it seems. So you've got 11 rims and you've got 21. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of this ship over here is, the Independence. Oh well, you do have some aircrafts around. So do you though. So let's see about the aircraft in a second over here. More Hellfires, and down here more rims. So yeah, that's basically it. We don't really have that much. Let's go back to group view and just look at all of the aircrafts that they've got over here. We've got a couple of Seahawks. These are basically MH-60, so basically Black Hawks that can carry missiles. In this case, they are carrying a couple of Hellfire missiles. Certainly very useful. We also got a couple of guys that are carrying torpedoes, I think. Yeah, this is a torpedo. And we also got a different aircraft over here. So UAV, so an unmanned aerial vehicle, sort of a drone in a helicopter format. Interesting thing, I have to say. And these guys are carrying Hydras. Are you guided at all, or are you just a dump weapon? Hydra 70. You are actually a guided weapon, interesting. Of only 7 kilos. Interesting. Then more of these Hellfire guided weapons, more Hydras, and I'm guessing, oh, a maritime surveillance aircraft. That one is very interesting. So what exactly are you? Also also the same loadout, but you're on a maritime surveillance mission. So that's interesting because you will be able to be our eyes basically and ears. So our mission will be, let's go back to the game over here, and while this loads up, our mission will be to get over here, basically to this objective through this area over here. And I'm guessing in terms of view, I think I want to turn off the BMG layer. Yeah, that should be a little bit more. So we are only operating on the satellite things over here, but that should be fine. So the first thing for us will be to plot a course over here. And I think we can basically go either south of these islands, so a little bit further away from Iran, sort of try to stay very far away, or just come here in between the middle, and I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to sort of try to sail sort of this way, and I'm pretty sure that this plan will go haywire. But yeah, let's start the game on this basis. Excuse me. It's been 8 minutes. So you guys are now coming into action, and you can see them turning around. And of course, one of the new features that we have is view, 3D view. This will take a second here to load up, but it will basically give us a 3D representation of this. Not a very sophisticated one, mind you, and one that does give us information about all of the enemies. So let's try to not look at any of the orange units there, but you can see our units are sort of over here, and probably we can see someone in the very distance somewhere they will be. Okay, so these guys are now coming into play and just trying to sail where they need to be. We can go various different speeds here. I suppose full speed or even flank speed is gonna be fine, so we're gonna try to sail through this very quickly, just to make sure that we aren't really... Oh, I should use that for everyone here. Yeah, just to make sure that we are using these guys very appropriately. We've got basically a day worth of a scenario, and this would just leave them in with very much enough fuel, so I think that's going to be alright. So first thing that we can actually do is, well, I'm going to expand the message lock over here because I want to know when things happen. I'm not sure this is actually that great a change. Oh, interesting. Well, we could of course play also, if you don't really like this representation, we can also play just very, very bare bones and just be like that. Which I guess is okay. We could also use the BMG layer, which actually isn't that bad, isn't it? Is it? It's actually, I kind of like it actually. Maybe we're going to play with this. does give you a little bit better representation of some of the geography over here and the terrain, which can be extremely important for radar signatures and such. Ooh, by the way, you can see that our ships here do have a little symbol called cav, and that means these guys are cavitating. So that means basically they are driving so fast that they create little bubbles at their propellers, which means they are they're pretty loud and they'll be easy to hear, especially on any sort of sonar. So what we could do is give you a little bit lower target speed, although I think with 18 knots you are pretty alright as is, so I don't really want to get you any slower than that. So yeah, we're just gonna have to bite the bullet there and accept that these guys will be cavitating. Right, I think we can move this up here a little bit. Yeah, and these guys now will be sailing. We of course gonna accelerate time here a little bit because there's no real purpose to us being so much slower here. I suppose what we could do is launch one of our aircraft, and that is the maritime surveillance drone over here, which we're gonna start and gonna use that to our advantage, because we could turn on our radar installations on these ships. Man, this is still way too loud, and this is annoying because this game is extremely difficult to fine-tune in terms of how loud or not loud you make it. Let's briefly check out this guy here for its fuel consumption. So it's slightly higher the higher you are, isn't it? Yeah, so really your best bet is to do cruise speed on an altitude of up to 12,000 feet. Can't go higher anyway, it seems. So that's going to be alright, we're going to send it ahead of us. What you can do if I was playing against a human opponent, well, let's do it anyway because it's more realistic, to sort of send it off an off-bearing first so that the enemy doesn't really know where exactly you're coming from in case they will be able to track this guy. So yeah, he's not extremely fast, 104 knots, that's very slow compared to, let's say, any aircraft, but you know, it can go ahead. It does have a surface search radar, so that is nice. We're going to turn that on once you are a little bit away from the combat group, because as I was saying, these guys do have radar installations, and they're pretty good ones, but I don't want to really turn them off as long as we are not spotted. And I think for now we are not spotted because we don't want to attract any attention. Of course, the whole purpose of driving through here is to actually make sure that we are alright. So let's go ahead here and turn on the radar. Now that this guy has left the vicinity there, and what we can do in terms of map settings is turn on the surface sensors. Even though I don't really see it right now. Why do you not see this? It should be turned on. Show range symbols for everyone. Yeah, we do have that. And we do have the radar installations on. Is it such a small vicinity that I can't really see it, or is it just immense and it covers the whole world? I don't think so, because the game does simulate because you're not operating it. There we go. Stop. Right, so we have turned this on now, and these we are getting a lot of contact information here about so-called skunks. That means these are ships. We don't know whether they are enemy ships. For now, it doesn't really look like they're enemy. Certainly not to me. That could be just neutral traffic. We don't really know, and you can see that we are losing contact with some of these guys, so we haven't really received an update on these guys for the last 16 in-game minutes, and that's why we are not really seeing anything over here. But you can see these guys here are being updated every 2 or 3 seconds, so that is certainly something that we can see over here. Right, let's pause here for a second and look at the concentration of vessels over here, because this just doesn't look very civilian traffic-y to me. This is way too many ships in too short a distance. I think these guys might be Iranian patrol craft, and I just want to make sure that we can check them out. So we have a clear sky. There's no cloud cover, so there's no reason why we should not see with this aircraft here. What terms of sensors do we have? We only actually have the radar. We don't have anything else. Not even a TV camera or anything else. So it will be extremely difficult to actually identify these guys here. Hopefully we're not going to be shot down here as we are driving or flying by these aircraft, these ships. You do have about 2 hours until you need to return, and over here you can see these guys have actually visually identified this ship there as being civilian. But you know what, I think with these guys here, I'm relatively fine in saying that we have identified the most important patrol route of the Iranians over here. So we are going to come back and stand off a little from where we need to be. Let's go on loiter speed over here so that we have a little bit more of an endurance, and then we are going to stay over here. Note that we are not seeing these guys here, even though they should technically be within range. It might be that they are behind this little island over here, but I'm not entirely sure. Can code to a high altitude, and you can see the radar range increasing over here as these guys are... Why are you circling around? That shouldn't really be the case. As these guys are... And we're losing contact with all of these guys here. That's a little bit disappointing even. Okay, let's try to get over this island here. Although that would allow the Iranians to potentially shoot this down and recover it, so just for the sake of the argument, just going to go a little bit off coast here. Have you got... Is your radar on? It is. Why then have I lost contact with all of these guys? This I find very, very confusing. And you can see, because of these guys becoming much larger, we don't really know where they are. There's a single ship coming towards our direction, but I think it might be civilian. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to come up here in the north, sort of pass by this ship. Don't want it to alert anyone. Okay, can you turn off your radar, please? And some of you see them? Ah, now... Okay, that was a weird glitch there. Right, you guys are coming up that way though, so that's fine. Now while we're doing this, I think it might make sense to check out the doctrine of these guys. Looks alright to me. We've got about 60 missiles, so maybe we can just keep it as is for now. And I'm gonna de-accelerate time here a little bit, just to make sure that we are really seeing what we need to see. So... a lot of ships down here in this vicinity, a couple of ships coming up due north, which I don't really like to see. And these might very well be hostile ships compared to us. We could pass on this side of the island though, so maybe that is going to be helpful. Because I don't want to fight that many enemy ships. It would be much better to pass actually by the enemy ships and make a demonstration that we can do so. Without actually endangering any of our ships. And I suppose we can go even fast over here, because at some point I'm pretty sure that these guys will notice our presence. You are still good for about an hour, so let's keep you around for that. Oh, look at this. This guy down here, we've got a contact report, and this guy is emitting something. So we know that it is one of these types of ships because we are seeing the DCAR radar, which is the surface search radar, and it could be various things. It's definitely Iranian, and it's definitely a warship. So it could be, for example, this frigate. That seems to be a little bit stronger than us, at least in terms of its guns. Even though we do have the Hellfire missile. So, yeah, we're gonna keep it around. Well, I suppose one of the things that we could do is actually grab these guys here, look at the aircraft, and actually launch one of these MH-60s, because they are actual ships. So, actual manned aircraft, helicopters. Whoa.
Website is clear.
Ouch. All right. So we just launched the aircraft there, and let me grab it. This is Brick 1. And it has immediately spotted a lot of radar installations on a lot of these guys, and what we've been thinking is somewhat confirmed. All of these ships are potentially hostile ships, and that is an issue. So we know a little bit more about these guys. Oh come on, this is ridiculous. This is just literally 3 guys or 6 dudes maybe on a boat with a just sort of ridiculous rocket launcher thingy. Max C State 3. And you are firing 107mm rockets at a range of not even a mile. This is ridiculous. You are very fast though, I suppose, and you can potentially engage us. Let's actually turn on the range of surface weapons so that we have a good idea about you guys. We've also got a MiG-26. You look at least a little bit more threatening. Although not really. I mean, what types of weapons do you have? More rockets, basically. But these are, again, just dumb rockets. So these I'm not too concerned about. That being said, down here, there seems to be a slightly bigger threat. This guy here, I suppose. And yeah, this guy now has actually serious missiles that we should be somewhat concerned about. The C-701, which is an air launch, so they sort of used that in a different configuration. And you've got an 8-mile radius. Interesting. Right, so I suppose the other thing that we need to be aware of is this SAM battery over here. So this is a surface-to-air missile battery, but the reason it's here is probably that they do have a military presence over here, and they might very well have further missile batteries over there that could be threatening towards us. So actually let's try to not get very much too close to the coast, and maybe sail a little bit more in the southern direction, even though this is going to bring us into range with a number of these units down here. So let's restart the game and actually grab our helicopter, bring it over this island over here, and maybe even come down here. So yeah, I think that's going to be alright. Now these guys are not considered hostile. They are considered hostile but not enemy, right? No, unfriendly but not hostile. That's the correct term there. Right, you've got an hour or so until you need to go home. That's alright there. Yeah, and lots of ships down here. Most of them, again, really not that threatening to me. Although I don't know what else they might have, so yeah, I think that is a bit of an issue. Can you actually get to... I don't want to set you to auto. Set you to full speed, please. I think you're sort of rearranging yourself. Ooh, there's a new contact over here. This guy. Don't really know what they are. Could be again one of these things, so... Lots of contact updates here, I think. Contact change. Yeah. Now, the new system with the pop-ups here, I'm not sure I really like it that much. But it's certainly fine to see that for now. Okay. You're getting slightly close towards this ship down there. Let's try to bring you a little bit further away from that. And let's also look at, no, sorry, not air sensors, but anti-air weapons. Which I suppose some of you must have. Certainly you must have some type of anti-air weapon. Oh yeah, no, you do. Okay, we actually showed that, but wasn't really relevant for most of these ships. They have a very small range, mostly. You, sir, only have a very limited range. Could you actually go to sort of loiter speed? Yeah, I think that's alright. Yeah. Lots and lots of ships. There is some commercial traffic over there. And most of these guys... As US Navy, this is Iranian Navy. You're in Persian Gulf waters in violation of military quarantine. Counter heading 085, we will escort you to quarantine area. Nope. We are certainly not going to do that. You, my friend, can stay where you are. I just want to keep you basically on an overwatch position there. And maybe just go to the IP-16, which does have this enormous range over here. This is basically our biggest threat, I think. From what I can see for now. Is that you, though? Who does have this enormous range? If it's not the PX-16, Because we do have another IPS 16 over here, and this doesn't have to seem to have such an enormous range. Torgros. There are these MiGs, which I suppose don't really have the range. No, it must be the IPS 16. God, man, the Iranians, they have so crazy designs. But the thing is, they have designs that just might work. So you've got a 20-mile radius. Yeah, that's over here. And you are coming towards us. So I suppose you guys could potentially deal with this on your own. Oh yeah, just look at this. All of these guys are coming towards us now. Yeah, that's a big issue. Okay, so you, sir, let's try to flank you through this. Look at the speed of these guys. 38 knots. That's rather significant. Okay, let's try to move you a little bit up here. Then towards the IPS 16, and you are different type of IPS 16. So you've got what? A 32 centimeter torpedo. Oh, and here we are. So let's get onto this. So we are seeing a vampire, and that is a code name for an enemy missile, so, or a missile in general. So where would that be? Up over here. On this coastline. Fascinating. Do you guys have any sensors? You do. Let's try to use them. Right, so a missile very, very close to us, definitively bearing on us at sort of medium speed, 520 knots. I suppose what we're soon going to do is send missiles their way. So these guys are now actively guided, and they're coming in towards us. I don't know who launched them. We definitely haven't seen anyone. Might be an installation on land, might be an installation on this island. We don't know. But it's good to see though that we have launched at least a single missile at one of these rims here at this very first missile. Whether that is going to be enough or not, I don't know. Definitely we are seeing more and more missiles coming in. Yeah, and we are seeing more missiles being launched from our side. These are a lot of missiles though that you're launching there. We've maybe overdoing this a little bit, my friends. Okay, let's stop this and let's look at these doctrines, because I think we're launching too much over here. So that is what, these guys down here. You are mostly using one missile against certain types of enemies, and how about this missile here? You are also mostly using one. Air contact guided weapon unspecified. Weapons per salvo, it's only one. Why are you shooting so many then? I don't get that. Helicopter guided weapons? No, 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 no. It's only one. You're only supposed to use a single missile against enemy missiles. That's what this is saying. You're not really doing that though. Let's try them to say... That's really awkward. Okay, why are you not doing this more consistently? Guided weapons, it's only one missile. Right, let's see whether that is going to be a consistent theme over here or not. One thing that we can do is attack these guys down here. And I suppose what we are going to do is then, at least, you know what, let's attack here with our 57mm gun. Don't think we need a hellfire against this type of target. So let's try to simply do this with a couple of salvos from our guns. That should be fine, I think. These guys, as everyone is considered hostile now because we are under attack, I suppose what I want to do here with you is just bring you over here, and then you can attack this target first, and we're going to try to sneak into here and sort of try to attack the I-60 wherever it is. Right. Yeah, there is our gun, and you know what, let's have a look at the thing here from a 3D perspective. So view, 3D view, tac view should load up, and we are going to see what's going on here. Come on. Sometimes it's really awkward loading this up. Right. But you can see, okay, this is the Seahawk. Let's select these guys over here. Or maybe one of these missiles. So yeah, firstly you can see these missiles are sort of flying around there. We can see where probably they did shoot from over there. That's fine. And we do see these enormous amounts of Iranian ships that are coming towards us. Yeah, and we should see on this end over here that you, sir, are being targeted by some guns emitting from these ships over there in the background. Yeah, you can see the yellow sort of things coming up in a very irregular arc. I'm not sure whether you're really going to hit this, but let's suppose you will. Yeah, that's fine. We can see more things happening there. What I suppose is that you could sort of directly run this way, and you could actually go on full speed here, please, and thank you. I really like to get you out of this mess as fast as possible, really. So we have, I think, potentially hit these guys. No, we actually malfunctioned, and we missed by just a couple of meters probably. It doesn't look like we missed by a very high margin. But no, he is definitively burning. We can see some fires raging here. So that's nice to see. And I think basically that disabled him. 7 knots or so. Yeah, he's dropping in speed definitively, so that's nice to see. This helicopter coming in, that's okay. You know what? I think we can launch more aircrafts over here. Let's launch one of the MQ-8Bs with its Hydra packet of missiles. So you've got 8, that's okay. And I think we will take out these guys that are immediately in the front of us. And that should hopefully be alright. Right, another ship down here, which we don't know what it is, except for, of course, TechView telling us what it actually is, so that's a little bit annoying. I suppose what you should do here is try to attack again with just a couple of rounds. I think that's alright. And that should start some firing of weapons again, which is annoyingly loud, but you can see the Independence there launching a couple more salvos at these guys. Right, so yeah, let's try to take out whoever's directly in front of us. That's the new helicopter launching Doughboy 1, and you are going to try to get over here and take these guys out. That being said, we are at 32 minutes, so I think this would be a very good place to put in a cut and, well, continue this game next time when we're trying to run the gauntlet of this giant missile boat swarm here of the Iranians, and just trying to punch our way through with these very modern but sort of flimsy US ships here, and let's see what good is it going to do. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I do hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.